favourite song I'm a reading, Chloe? No, I love it. Oh, you know I don't like parties. Anyway, I've got to stay out with Dad tonight. I know. He's just been acting really strange lately. I don't know. Don't shit! You scared the hell out of me. No, not you. Just my idiot boyfriend.
Next.
Okay, so I guess
it was a very great role. I
guess to begin with, can you all basically quickly introduce yourselves and what role you did in the film?
Okay.
I'm Kenny Richards. I actually play Carl Southwark. No, I'm not Scottish.
Very good, very good. Yeah. Yeah, very good. You're fucking cunt.
Don't you even start that, alright?
Alright, sorry.
I'm Peter Goundrill, writer, director, executive producer, and creator.
I'm Gemma
Deerfield,
Deerfield,
the producer.
yeah, co-executive producer and series regular.
Hello, I'm Joseph Stacey. I play DCI Mills, and that was me getting screwed over with regards to screen time.
I like the rattle.
I'll say it was less screen time. You had your little voiceover moment.
Oh, don't start, don't, no.
No, that was because he wouldn't cut his hair or something. He grew his hair out so we couldn't pay him anymore. That's what he told me anyway, that's true.
So basically, Peter, tell us where this film came from, how did it all start, and what process you went through to actually get the film made. How did you cast and get the crew to get involved with it?
Well, there's many beginnings for Humber City. I guess the beginning for this version of Humber City was after I did my first real short film, Fresh Canvas. Because that gave me a kind of, I'd finished university and I decided to do my first real short film, and it gave me a breath of fresh air. I'd focused on working on Humber City during university to various degrees of success. And then this one I decided to do because I felt like I was in the right place to do it again. Developed it from there. I think my first casting choice was, the role of DCI McGavin, the cop, right at the end, because I knew that guy I knew John from another production, and I always wanted to work with John. So I pitched him the role, and then soon after that, because she was in Fresh Canvas, along came Gemma, and then Joe. Really it was working through the networks. Because once I had Gemma, I think it was Gemma who suggested Joe to me, brought him in for an audition here in Manchester. Was that how it worked? I think so. Kenny, I'd been a casting director on another short film. Yeah, and I basically had absolutely no dialogue in that film, and I knew he was capable of doing so much more. So to play the bad guy was perfect for him. And then the other characters you don't actually see in this, the rest of our series regulars, we have Zara Fifian, who's an actress as well as a 3 times mixed martial artist world champion, which is always good. But I can't forget that John actually is a master in Jeet Kune himself, so that helps. And Kenny has martial arts background as well, so a nice rounded cast of martial arts for when we need it. And then I believe our final series regular is somewhere up there. Where is he? I can't see where he slides, but yeah, he's right there. Paul Flanagan will be appearing in the second episode onwards as McGavin's boss.
And I can't even use a bloody camera.
And really, Paul came to me through John, and he blew me away in his audition. And really, it's just about working the networks. I have a lot of networks and contacts within Hull. That's what this is primarily about, because it's filmed and set in Hull. Yes, there was a few little scenes set in Manchester. Joe's scene, for example, was filmed in an alley, just up the road, in fact. And John's scene was shot in London, on Fenchurch Street. So it was mixed back. Predominantly, it's about Hull. It's about, you know, showing what Hull has got to offer in terms of location, and actually using the negative connotation of Hull to its advantage.
Kenny, as an actor, how did you start off by basically becoming, I guess, the bastard that is your character and pull him off extremely well?
It's his fault. Every time I did a take, it was I want to do it again. Quite simply, no, it wasn't. It wasn't. We had a joke about that today. We just between us, I think we just developed it. I thought I could make it more, because we did one episode before this, and we decided not to use that one. It was more like to see how the character would blend together and everything else, wasn't it? And he wasn't expecting something I brought to the role, which is almost perversion. Perversion.
Not I know.
And see, I got told on day one of shooting for that one, it was probably the worst thing an actor could ever get. I got told day one, by the way, Carl's gay. I was like, what? He said, yeah, you're gay. I was like, oh, thanks. I said, well, I'm not changing it. I'm not going to be, because I've just got this gruff. I think we went through Scouse, Birmingham, then decided on Scottish. And we said, I'm not changing it. I'm not going to make him camp. And actually, that scene which isn't on there, we got that. I like my ass being licked. All that came into it. But the other one, can I say the other line? Or is it spoiling?
Well, we haven't got plans to use that at the moment, so do you want to say that now?
The other one was, I don't like that slit in my hole. A long hard dick maybe, but no fucking that. And that came into it, but I mean that was obviously more Billy Connolly, wasn't it, when I was doing it then? And so again, the accent developed, and no, as far as me concerned, that was solely due to the superb writing that Pete made the character do. The character just leapt off the page, and I just ran with how I felt it should have gone. A couple of times Pete had to direct me, but most of it was, I think, just mutual agreement that it was right what we were doing.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, Humber City, is this an actual like a series of shorts then? And you kind of, what's your plan with this? Like, what are you essentially what are you creating? Is it the beginning of an overall arc of something, or?
Well, yeah, that is the beginning, in terms of the story, it's the beginning of an arc. There's an arc to be played out there. It's designed as an episodic series. Where it goes from here is purely dependent on multiple factors based on that episode. It could go as web series, it could go elsewhere. I think that's still to be determined.
It's not. No, it's going to be a web series. It's a TV quality web series. Hour-long episodes. That is a teaser, a taster for what's about to come. We will be reshooting episode 1 right back from the beginning with better equipment and the full shebang. But this is a demonstration of what we can do. Basically, we're trying to raise the the ever elusive investment by using this as a sample of how good it can be and what we did with nothing. Give us some cash. That's what it is.
I have a question. I apologise for Carl. Sure. You say you're gay in the actual thing. Was you shooting people? Just you shot about 4 people. Was that just metaphor shooting your load?
No, there's a whole there's a whole backstory to it.
I apologise.
Which.
A backside story.
A backside story. So anyway, it came out that he's not gay at all. He just any hole's a goal to Carl. It's one of those things. Which I think that was what you told me, wasn't it? Yeah, pretty much. Metrosexual, omnisexual, something like that. But what the heck's his sexuality got to do with it? Just give us your money so we can make it better.
I just wanted to say that joke. I apologise.
Yeah, so I guess how far have you gone down the route of actually turning these into 1 hour episodes?
Well, like I said, this is an example of what we can do. I'm now using this promo and it's trying to sell our wares kind of thing. But it's early days yet. There are certain things that I mean, you know what the game's like. You've got to bring certain people in. You've got to sign certain people up to get certain money and so on and so forth. So we're at a positive stage down that road. I can't really say any more than that.
Well, we've got about 3 American actors or something, haven't we?
Yes.
Just because they're American doesn't mean they're good, Pete.
No. You can't do the whole accent. Come on.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's where we're at. But I'm really proud of what we've achieved on nothing, I must say. I think that, I think is an example of what we can do. It's been really good, and we couldn't have done it without an amazing amount of support from the likes of Joseph and Kenny and people like that who've given up their free time. So thank you guys ever so much for everything you do.
Yeah. It does certainly look like it's a collaborative experience. It's kind of people have really kind of banded together to make something.
We're all really passionate, aren't we, Pete? We think of Pete. Pete's writing is unbelievable. It's unbelievably good. He's one of the best I've ever come across. But we have our fun down the road, don't we? It's an interesting project. There's a lot of people involved. I've done no budget, low budget stuff before. Obviously, we're aiming to get a budget for this, but there's a huge amount of people involved. And I've never worked on a project with so many people involved, so many actors from across the world. It's a circus. It's a circus.
Are there any questions from the audience?
Yep. Sorry, just a bit of a bore on that actually to do with funding. Couldn't help notice that you went to, you sort of had crowdfunding generated from Indiegogo, is that right?
Yeah, we've been testing the waters with the crowdfunding thing. It's actually less about raising the money that way because there are more legitimate ways of raising finance. Yeah. It's more to do with trying to spread the word and actually get people aware of what we're doing.
Right, so I was gonna, that's pretty much what I was going to get at. Like, is it a good source of sort of funding for shops and all sorts of stuff, or is it no?
It's one of those things where, it works for some people, and there are ways of doing it that, tick the right boxes and things like that, and I'm more than happy to give you some advice if you've gone down that road. But it's a project by project basis, and I can't say I've personally cracked crowdfunding. You'll see from our current campaign, we haven't cracked it yet, but the reason we set up the crowdfunding campaign is because it details, we can tell the story of where we've come, why we're doing it. Our artwork is on there, we've got our promo videos on there, our interviews and things like that. You can't plug all that just through YouTube, so it's more of a strategic measure for trying to get people aware of the series than to raise money to make the series, because it's not really a legitimate source of funding to make the series, and it's too ambitious a project to raise crowdfunding money, I think, that way. I would rather do it through the sort of whether it be internet broadcasters or TV and things like that. But I'm actually more excited about exploring what this new digital age means, what the internet means for filmmakers like all of us. I mean, it's unbelievably exciting, and this level of inclusion that should be at all levels, whether you're, in the clique from the Oxbridge kind of route, or whether you're like us, the kind of salt of the earth filmmakers. I think that right now, if we remember that the content makers are the talent, we're the ones that should have final say. We have, intellectual property, we have the rights, we have the power. So don't give it over to the other guys who then tell you how many actors you need, which actors you need, what storylines you can say, what words you can use. Stick to your truth, make your thing as, whatever it be, a series, a film, a TV show, make it to the best of your ability, stay true to yourself, and find the right person to distribute it, and eventually you will. It's a difficult thing if you haven't got money to make things without a budget. But if you've got something, you can sell it. If you're planning something, you've got nothing. It's a horrible vicious cycle, and we're all in it. Got to find your own way out.
Talent. I mean, I'm a big believer in talent will always shine through. So if you keep on pushing, you're gonna get noticed.
Yeah.
So it's keep on pushing.
Well, it's one of the prime reasons why this time round we did a crowdfunding campaign, which helps us to make that one episode. Yeah. And as you said, we're doing a second crowdfunding campaign right now. And I think, the first time was a learning curve for me. And that's why one of the things I'm doing now is doing events like this, no matter where in the country. We did about 3 or 4 in Hull. This will be our 5th one here. So it's just about pushing it out there and going the natural conventional way as well.
Yeah.
And sure we can really do more, because I mean not a lot of people are gonna be finding it on YouTube, finding it on Facebook, or even just searching random campaigns on Indiegogo. One of the reasons for doing events like this is primarily just to say we're here, we're doing this, check us out.
It's certainly, I mean, especially with the Indiegogo pages now as well, it's oversaturated with a lot of projects that are out there. So you've really got to get your voice heard. So it's all about passion, making sure you're the one that gets noticed.
One note on the crowdfunding thing is that there's about to be a change where they're bringing in, and it might already be the case with things like Crowdcube, where there's a kind of more of an equity investment set up. That might be a more legitimate way for some people to get their first round of funding. It is more businessy, but I think that, you know, people with a little bit of cash to, you know, throw a punt, have a punt on something. They'll, you know, yeah, I think that will open up more doors. I think that'll be a really good thing. I think filmmakers should get in on the ground level and get some stuff made now.
I was going to say on
a primal level, the money, obviously that's what we ultimately want to come in, only so we can then generate Pete's hard work, fantastic writing talent, but primarily on a primal level, if you really liked it, and you can show it via your Facebooks, your Twitters, and say, oh, look at this, see this, it's a really good thing. And the more information, the more generation you get, gets them to watch this. So if you like it, please spread the word. That's all. Thank you.
You had the man.
Well, yeah, it is. It's about virality. You know, with me tonight, if anyone's interested during the interval, I am carrying some flyers with all the information details of where you can actually find more about Humber City. It doesn't really detail the Indiegogo page too much. It's got the Facebook page and all the other pages on there, and plus it's a nice little piece of poster art featuring this motherfucker. I'm going to be casual. I'm sorry. I'm going to be a little casual. You see, the one reason I do Humber City for the Net is because I do Humber City for the Net to get away from censorship.
I know, but you're so funny.
If I went on ITV, I'm sure they won't let you get away with killing 5 people in 10 minutes.
Rainbow got away with quite a lot. Yeah. And put what?
If I can get away with for years. If I can get away with killing my wife on the set, because she was the second death victim, I didn't mind. It was just wait, get rid of my.
If only I could kill my wife.
Guys, we're going to have to leave it there. Cheers, thank you very much for coming down.
Just one question.
After the bar, you can chat at the bar because we have to get moving for the next one.
Sorry guys.
The intermission now.
Thank you.